Hello, I'm Peter Greer of Greater Diversity News, the sponsor of my podcast, The Economic Liberation of Africa. We are bringing you very good news from the motherland. There is an economic revolution building, and a fast-growing number of diasporans are playing a big part in it. We will focus our coverage on the ever-growing important work of ADDI and the ever-growing number of diasporans that view Africa as our promised land, our land of opportunity. This video features a Wall Street investor that took his skills to Ghana and an ADDI diasporan that is investing in Ghana. If you like what we're doing, please like, share, and subscribe to our podcast channel. And please become a member of ADDI.
Okay, so this is a video with a diasporan that I connected with on the continent that's doing things. And in my mission with the Greater Diversity newsletter and my co-chairmanship with Peter Greer and my affiliation with ADDI, among other things, I have a channel, Live Invest Africa. Pretty much the mission is to connect with people that are doing business on the continent and making others aware of the opportunities that are available. So I want to introduce Dale, and Dale can speak a little bit about what he's done in the US and then on the continent, what he's doing currently on the continent. So Dale, you have the floor.
Yeah, so in the States, my background is finance. I worked on Wall Street at Morgan and at Lehman Brothers. And I've been running my own investment firm since 97. And I still manage investment portfolios for American citizens. I moved here to Ghana in September of 22. And in Ghana, because it's a new country, and a lot of infrastructure and things that we're used to in America just aren't quite there. And so the places of opportunity where you can add value fall along just a few industries. I call them dirt industries: real estate, agriculture, mining, etc. The other things that we're used to doing in America will follow, but right now it's the dirt industries. And so I've always been interested in what the power of collaborative investing with an American super dollar can do for both the investor, above average risk adjusted returns on their investment, and also the kind of impact that could be made in the places we're living, in the places we're doing business with well-intentioned capital. And so most of the things that I do here in Ghana revolve around getting like-minded people to come here to Ghana with their capital, either to live or invest. And so I have Airbnb assets where through our YouTube channel, we invite people to come practice living in Ghana, practice doing business in Ghana, getting familiar with the landscape, increasing their network. So we have Airbnbs for that. I'm also invested in in a yam project, an agricultural project. And that was primarily to demonstrate if Americans who come here and are looking to increase their revenue stream, because there are no jobs for Americans here, right, and you can't bring every remote job here. So I chose this agriculture yam farm to demonstrate if you take a chunk of money, an asset, and you invest in a farm, if the harvest could provide returns to you that could sustain your living here. And depending on what kind of income you needed to live here will determine how big of a chunk of savings you would have to put into a yam farm. So I'm invested in the yam farm, entertaining rice projects, snail projects, and other projects. But my primary project here is underway, and that's a large R, retirement living, small S, senior living, a retirement/senior living project here in Ghana for primarily Black expats looking to move to Ghana, who don't want to buy land and build like many do. My wife and I did not take that route. We lived in Brooklyn, and we were apartment condo people. After both owning homes for a majority of our lives, we determined we want different responsibilities and obligations as we got older. And so that's called Monarch Village. And it's currently, I'm in a capital raising, a fundraising phase of the project. It's a $3 million, $4 million project, and it's being capitalized through an SEC regulated crowdfunding campaign in the States. And so those are just some of the things that I'm interested in. Those are the big things I'm interested in.
So one of the things that you mentioned was what really got me intrigued with the crowdfunding avenue, as well as some of the other things, because in terms of what I'm interested in, I put a down payment on a plot for a Pan-African community in the Jahadzi region. But I have yet to even step foot on the continent. So the first trip is planned next year. But in terms of group economics, that's one of the things that intrigued me, because I actually thought about, in terms of real estate, that could be one of the avenues. Because I know Ghana, one of the things that I'm interested in is the fact that they have dual citizenship. And we have a number of people throughout the United States that are just going to be limited to Social Security because they haven't planned, or because whatever the economic misfortune that they find themselves in. So in order to leverage their lifestyle, that's an opportunity to be able to live in the assisted living senior facility type of product. And that's one of the things that intrigued me about your business. I didn't realize that within, I guess, Obama's term, one of the things that he did within the Jobs Act was to create that avenue for crowdfunding. Because we know in the past, the accredited investors were the ones that would get access to these entry level types of investments. And now with the power that we have, we know the trillions of dollars that we have available to us in the US, it gives us an entry point to be able to group fund, like you said, crowdfund, and be able to invest in those projects. So I'm definitely interested in becoming an investor first and foremost. There's another gentleman that I came across that's doing something similar on the media side, Isaac Hayes Jr. And I think he used a different platform from Start Engine. I think he used.
Yes, he is a Clubhouse competitor. Fan base is what he runs. Right,
fan base. Yes, I'm interested in that avenue as a method for us to get to the next level in terms of wealth generation. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by that. So I do, after this, want to follow up to actually work towards becoming an investor. In terms of the structure, is it like a share type of thing based on a certain investment percentage?
Well, for early stage non-tech companies, because everything is a decision around how your cap table is going to be, what your investors are expecting, the kinds of returns they're expecting. So in my early friends and family stage, I'm doing a revenue share, which is one pathway, which requires less paperwork, but it rewards your early investors. At some point, when some of the professional money is about to come in, then those will be investments in preferred shares with cumulative dividend parameters that center around what professional money tends to expect from real estate projects. So it'd be like preferred shares, cumulative preferred shares in the 14 to 19% range.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that definitely is an avenue that I'm interested in. And I think one of the things within ADDI, because as I mentioned earlier, the goal with Dr. Arikana Chiambari Kwao is to make the diaspora around the world aware of the opportunities that are available. They actually just completed a trade mission to Burkina Faso, and there's a follow-up event that's happening in Washington, D.C. Because the leaders within Burkina Faso is trying to make people aware of the mining, the health industry, and all of the opportunities, the agriculture. So to kind of get the word out, and there's high level people in their former career fields within ADDI as well. So just your wealth of knowledge could be huge, and just this video alone to share with some of the other people within the organization and to see what the possibilities are. I know in past webinars, she's profiled, like, for instance, the poultry as one avenue in her home country, which is Zimbabwe. Her husband is actually a citizen of Ghana. They are both doctors, medical doctors that were lived and based in Tennessee in New York. But then this mission that she's on now is taking her all around the world. So yeah, you definitely would be an asset to kind of pick your brain and then to highlight some of what you're doing. So in terms of any other things that you want to discuss in terms of plans, in terms of the facility that you're mentioning now for the senior housing, the $3 million project, is that for one project or is that spread across multiple projects?
Well, it's the initial pilot location. It'll be about 100 and 120 units for rental. These are rental units. And I have the location, which is an hour from me here in Weija, which is like the on the outskirts of the main city of Accra. And so I'm expecting a project like this to eventually be oversubscribed at 100 to 120 units. And I'm scouting locations for the second location. And each of the locations will offer a different vibe or a different feel. So like when you come to Ghana as someone looking to relocate, you can go to the mountains in Abri, you can go to beachfront, you can go to the bush, you can stay near the city, you can go to the Volta Tropic region, you can go to the dry region. There's 10 to 12 plus different vibes and feels that you can partake in depending on what your tastes are. And so each of my locations will be a different a different climate, a different vibe, so that potential residents will have different things to choose from depending on what their tastes are. So this is the initial pilot location.
Okay. I came across something not too long ago that the president was focused on some initiatives around expanding on in the medical and the teaching hospitals, I think around the Cape Coast area. Have you heard anything about that?
Well, I get the alerts, but those are typically for Ghanaian citizens.
Okay, so it sounded like because I know there's an initiative to continue on what Kwame Nkrumah was doing in terms of one district, one factory, and kind of revamping that whole mindset. I know part of it was the forced destabilization that was done that kind of derailed that. But I know he had within the medical and health niche, he wanted to focus on expanding the teaching hospitals, similar to what we do in more developed, like in the US. And that's kind of what's my thought around the assisted living or senior housing, that if they're in proximity to health facilities, it would be that much more beneficial.
Well, my locations are all going to be within an hour of commerce and medical. But one of the amenities of this project, Monarch Village, because the Black American expats are coming with, conditions that they're treating, medications that they're on, diseases that they're dealing with. There has to be a real focused attention to health maintenance. And my wife is a pharmacist. She's worked for Kings County Hospital, one of the biggest hospitals in one of the biggest health systems in the States, New York Health and Hospitals. And so she'll be the chief medical officer, where her expertise in making sure that people coming over can get the medication that they're accustomed to, and dosages are right, and the quality of the medicine is legit. So that's a big thing. But on inside of our facility, there'll be round-the-clock nurses, a focus on technology and health care for retirees, for seniors, and world-class health practitioners that will be on premise treating residents with whatever ailments they have. And because, I had also assisted my wife in creating a chronic disease health app, like a remote patient monitoring app. So she's the health professional. Working with her, I understand how health is important thing in terms of a decision-making variable for people coming. Usually, where am I going to live? How am I going to survive money-wise? And, what's my health going to be? Those are the three big things. Right. So health is going to be a big, at the forefront of, I wouldn't even call it amenity, just like baked in to the design and to the maintenance of our future residents.
For sure. That's one of the things that Dr. Arikana mentions as a medical professional herself, her and her husband. She says that there's more doctors in New York than there are in all of Ghana. So she realizes the importance of the health industry and what needs to be done. The other thing she mentioned is there was an initiative in Ghana to rehab and build hospitals, but they didn't have the capacity for the doctors. There's definitely a shortage. So just this as an avenue for revenue and to increase GDP is huge, because if you have a certain percentage of people that already have dollars that can live, like we said, to leverage their quality of life somewhere else. I mean, there's a whole subculture of people in the US that live in extended stay facilities because they're priced out of the regular market. And then they can never save to really have the down payment to even rent something. So there's definitely an opportunity for growth and to help the African economy. We already know about how fast the Black dollar leaves the Black community. So yeah, I'm on that mission as well. So anything else that you want to mention in terms of how you can be reached or your channel?
I would say, so the channel on our YouTube is called Off the Wheel. And the wheel is the anxiety-ridden, stress-induced, consumeristic, predatory hamster wheel that
Yeah.
most of us are typically on in
The rat
America.
race. Yeah, the rat
The rat-
race.
And so when we moved to Ghana, we said some of the value that we can provide to other people who had been thinking about it or had never known that Ghana could be an option. We use the channel to document our transition, learn from our mistakes, tap into our knowledge base. So and we broke up the episodes into seasons. Season 1 is planning, make a decision and planning. Season 2 is landing. And then season 3 is, you're getting acclimated. So there's 3 seasons. I invite everyone to go and watch from season 1, episode 1, Off the Wheel on YouTube. And then for anybody who's thinking about living in a retirement village, you can visit our website at monarchvillage.live. And for anyone who is interested in investing in the project through our SEC crowdfunding campaign, you can visit us at wefunder.com/monarchvillage. And we invite you to come over to Ghana, start vacationing in Ghana, start bringing your dollar to invest in Ghana. I tell people that Ghana is the South Bronx of the 1980s, where you had a bad reputation, you couldn't give it away, and now in the South Bronx, you got private equity firms building $100 billion projects in places that I was afraid to go as a kid. And Ghana is going to be like that in 10 to 15 years. Things are possible. Whatever you can think of, you can do here. So I would invite you to plan a trip, bring your expertise, bring your money, your capital, and network with people like me, and make a perfect world where you can earn a return and you can make an impact in life. So that's that.
That's great. So my wife is really interested, since I told her about what used to formerly be known as Afrochella, that's now is the Afro Future Fest. That's the period of time that she's interested in going. And I know that's one of the most expensive periods of time, but within your Airbnb network, do you have availability for something like that? I can talk to you about that offline, but I know that's peak period.
Yeah, listen, I don't leave my house during that. It's traffic. The young kids come and they fill the city. So I leave that to the young folks.
Okay. Well, hopefully I can accommodate her, because we kind of have two different mindsets. I'm interested in, yes, the entertainment and having fun, but I'm interested in the future. This is what Afrofuturism is to me, to be able to come together, practice group economics, which leads me to one of my other people, her favorite phrase, Kathy Hughes from TV One Media. She always has a period each week where she profiles a particular business for people to invest in, so we can circulate those dollars. And one of her pet phrases that I've kind of used is the dissemination of information is key to our liberation. So I want to thank you for helping to disseminate information so we can kind of roll this out to the diaspora, and we can come together and, together we're a majority, we're not a minority. So I think it's important to have people like you that's kind of leading the charge and leading the way. So I appreciate you, and I'm definitely going to follow up with you offline, because I am making my first trip next year, and to be able to coordinate, like I said, with the projects that you're investing in, so I can make sure that I'm involved in that. I'm not going to miss out.
The last thing I'll say is your Kathy Hughes comment triggered something else. I got so many things going on. Visit offthewheel.info. And if you're interested in joining our group, our membership group, where we also try to collaboratively invest in some local Ghanaian business, if something like that interests you, then visit us at offthewheel.info and learn more about our investment group. Great.
I'm going to put all of that in my comments, the description below, and I'll send you a copy of this. Hopefully I have enough space. I know I was running out of space on my computer a while ago. I got to upgrade my cloud account. But Dale,
Okay.
thank you. I appreciate it. I don't want this thing to cut me off because I'm having the free version here. So I think I got a 40-minute cutoff and I'm at 36 now.
Okay.
So thanks again for taking out the time. And hopefully this will be the first of many conversations that we can have going forward. And I'm looking forward to meeting you and your lovely wife when I get to the continent.
Excellent. Thanks for reaching out.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.
So with that being said, again, if you like what we're talking about, if you appreciate what we're talking about, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, sign our notification bell, and leave some comments. We want to know what you think, what you suggest, because what we're doing is we're setting out to economically liberate Africa and Africans in the diaspora. And with that being said, I'm going to conclude this session and invite all back for our next session. Thank you so much.